Ideas are usually not the problem for inventors. Obviously, you want to have something that you enjoy working on, but I've found that when I talk to inventors, that's not really the issue either. All of their ideas are something they're interested in. They've taken the time to really think about them and kind of jot them down on paper. Maybe they even have some preliminary sketches. But as you start to think about which of those ideas you're going to focus on, you really have to transition from what I like to what has the best chance of succeeding out in the marketplace. And to do that, you need to start to think about marketing. What I want to do in this video is show you how to use urgency as a critical filter on validating those ideas and which ones are going to have the best chance of success. So let's get into it right now. I asked ChatGPT to come up with a list of 12 kitchen gadget inventions, things that the average inventor might take a look at. They are easily patentable, they're manufacturable, they're in that $10 to $15 to $20 price point, something that makes sense for a lot of the inventors that I talk to. Now, ChatGPT did not do a full patent search. They didn't go through all this. This is just illustrative. And what I wanted to do is simulate the process that I've seen in inventors' notebooks, where there are a bunch of ideas with a little description, maybe a little picture, and we're trying to figure out which of those ideas makes the most sense. So you can see those on the list here. There are 12 of them, all the way from the chicken test fork, all the way down to the spice cap funnel down here at the bottom. And what I want to show you to do today is identify urgency in one of three categories: vitamin, painkiller, or oxygen. Now, a vitamin is sort of what you think a vitamin is. It improves your life in some meaningful way, but the results might take a long time to see, or they might be kind of a addition to what you're already doing. You don't need it, but it's a nice to have. The second form of urgency is painkiller. If you've got a headache, Advil or Tylenol is in your medicine cabinet and you're taking it. You can apply that same sort of an idea to any sort of invention. Is that invention, is that product or that service something that is a vitamin? It's kind of a nice to have. It improves their life. It's a painkiller, meaning that it is solving a problem that they're having right now. Or is it oxygen, something that they cannot continue without doing? So let's see in this list how we would rate each one of the 12 ideas. Let's start with the Kitchen Done test fork. This is a reusable fork that quickly indicates whether poultry has reached a food safe temperature. Now, I would say, is that a vitamin, a painkiller, or oxygen? It's certainly a little bit better than a vitamin for most people. Poultry is a notorious food safety vector. My wife was food safety trained. She certainly knows that if you don't cook chicken to the proper temp, you can get foodborne illness pretty easily. It's a big deal. So it's certainly above the vitamin level. Maybe not for everybody, but certainly for many. I'd say painkiller, that idea that, hey, you could be eating something or serving something to your family that could make them sick. Okay, that is a pain that you want to solve. Is it oxygen? Can you do without it? Yes, you certainly could do without it. You could cut the chicken and you could see, does the juice run clear? That's the traditional test. You could use a meat thermometer. You could use other things that you probably have on hand. So a test fork is a nice idea, but it's probably in the painkiller category. So let's put a check mark next to that as painkiller. Second one is jar grip ring, a flexible silicone ring that slips over a stubborn jar lid for extra grip. Is that a vitamin? I think it's a little bit better than a vitamin, to be honest. I think I have one of those in my kitchen, by the way. So it's something that I consider a problem when you can't get the lid off for whatever reason. It's stuck or the food is kind of stuck in the ring there. Provides a little bit more grip if your hands are wet or you just washed them. Is it oxygen? Do you absolutely need it? I suppose you can make the case that if I can't get the lid off, I can't use that. But I'd certainly, at best, a painkiller, maybe edging into vitamin territory. The third one, knife rest clip. This clips to the edge of cutting board to safely hold a knife off the counter. Probably quite literally a pain reliever, painkiller, especially if you cut yourself. So let's not do that, kids. Treat your knives well. Certainly not oxygen, though. You don't need that. Next one, butter stick roller. So rolls cold butter onto toast like a glue stick without tearing the bread. That seems like a vitamin to me. Toast, you could melt the butter a little bit or just leave it out for a bit. So this is definitely in vitamin territory. Steam alert lid knob. Lid that changes color when steam pressure builds underneath. That's a good one. Certainly better than a vitamin. Certainly a painkiller. If you cook a lot of that type of food, I like that idea. But is it oxygen? Do you absolutely need it? No, you can check or you can use a timer. Pan handle heat indicator. That's the next one. Silicone handle sleeve with a built-in heat indicator that changes color before the handle becomes hot enough to burn your hand. I think this product actually already exists. It is certainly not oxygen. Is it a vitamin? Probably a little bit better than that. There's a problem there to be solved. I would say painkiller. Anytime things hurt, by the way, that's probably a good indication that it is a painkiller. There's a tip, kids. Write that down. One-handed bag holder. Okay, this clips onto a countertop and holds food storage bags open while filling them. I'd probably buy that. Honestly, that probably exists. I bet on Amazon we could find all these things. It's certainly difficult to hold the bag open, but there are lots of ways to do that. Or just hold it open and dump in there. I don't think we need this. Pasta portion spinner, rotating dials, one's sized for 1 to 6 servings of dry pasta, vitamin. Eggshell catch spoon. Okay, I've done this. A slotted spoon with a textured edge to specifically designed to scoop eggshell fragments from cracked eggs. I've done this. If you've cracked eggs and you bake at all, you've done this. It sucks. I'd buy this thing. It's certainly the alternative is dipping your fingers in there to pick out shells. That doesn't work that well. This is at best, though, a painkiller. Pan pour clip. Removable clip that creates a drip-free pouring spout out of any pot or pan. I think I have these. Nice. It's a vitamin for sure. Maybe a painkiller if you spill a lot, but it's somewhere in there. Magnetic measuring spoons. They snap to metal mixing bowls so they don't disappear during cooking. That part's nice. Vitamin to painkiller area for sure. And then spice cap funnel. Universal cap that snaps onto spice bottles to create a narrow, mess-free pouring funnel. Again, sort of like the pan pour clip, this spice cap funnel. It's okay. I think it's a vitamin at best. So when we took a look at vitamin, painkiller, oxygen, what we saw in this first list was maybe not all that impressive. We saw a few that were painkillers, the chicken Dunn test fork or the heat indicators. Those, maybe the eggshell catch spoon fell into that category. Anytime where it's really inconvenient or there is a problem in it, that it is urgent, is a great indication that you might have something that is going to sell better than a butter stick roller. Again, none of these are necessarily good or bad idea. The idea that we're trying to think through here is urgency. Where is that level of urgency on buying this? Is that at the vitamin level, the painkiller level, or the oxygen level? So the challenge I would have for this list and the follow-up prompts would be, let's start to think about ideas that were in the oxygen category. What could you absolutely not live without in your kitchen? And I think that when I think about that, I'm thinking about food safety. I am thinking about heat protection, sharps protection, refrigeration monitoring, things like that, that you absolutely could not do without in the kitchen. Those are the critical things you need to be thinking. So if I were looking at this on ChatGPT and this was my first 12 ideas, or if I put mine in there and I had it generate a little bit for me, I would keep going here until I had some ideas that were really, I cannot live without. That would be the idea that I would bring forward into the patent exploration process. I'd start doing some searches on Amazon and Google to find out what is around there. I'd start going into different kitchens and asking people that I know about this idea. That's where I would start. This is not quite good enough yet, but it was a great start and a great help. So I hope that helped you understand kind of how I think about urgency when I'm evaluating inventive ideas, or frankly, when I'm evaluating startup pitch decks or Fortune 500 innovations. I'm looking at those three criteria. From the user's perspective, is it a vitamin, is it a painkiller, or is it oxygen? Prioritize in reverse order. Prioritize oxygen first, painkiller second, and ignore the vitamins. Most people do. What is your invention idea? What are yours that you want to start to run through this same idea? Drop them in the comments and I'll do another video on those, or let's do it together on a shared video. Until then, see you on the next one.